guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We're back here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete, and guess what? I have that one performance SUV that people yearn for. It's this vehicle right here. This is a Cadillac Escalade-V with that supercharged V8 underneath the hood. But before we get into this black beauty of a performance SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. So it really was the Escalade that has saved Cadillac from extinction, because if you really think about it, things weren't looking so hot for them in the 1980s. And when they came out with the idea for the Escalade, at first it was just a GMC Yukon with a Caddy badge. But when it sold so well, Cadillac changed their tune with this vehicle. And now adding a V to the name ups the ante on horsepower and performance. Now, in this luxury SUV segment, there's a lot of key players, but I actually don't want to talk about any of them. What I want to do is I want to talk about, do you go with this 2024 Escalade-V, or do you go with the refresh? There's been a big refresh on the Escalade platform, a little bit different look to the outside, but definitely some big changes to the interior. Which is the better way to go? Why don't we go ahead? Let's dive into our Escalade-V and find out. Right off the bat, overall proportions, this is a body-on-frame SUV, and this is a full-size SUV. So those of you who say, but the Kia Telluride, that's a full-size SUV. No, it's not. It's a mid-size 3-row SUV. Up front, on this generation, I actually prefer the lighting more. You have that separate headlight housing, full LED, of course. And then I like the way they did their LED signature daytime running lamp. The one thing I got to zonk is the fake vent here. They should have done something to open this up for brake cooling, for cooling of that supercharged V8, or even aerodynamic flow. But definitely, in my eyes, if you compare this to the new one, and I'll leave a link of the new Escalade-V at the end of this video, I prefer this setup a little bit more. Working our way down, it's nice to have this black V because all the black trim blends in perfectly. So this is all gloss black, splitter. The area around the daytime running lamp is all gloss black, but because of our particular exterior color on this, it all blends in really nice and cleanly. You come across that center grille. It does have, of course, a V performance grille because this is a real V vehicle, that massive Cadillac badge. So glad they got rid of the crest. Years ago, there used to be a crest around the badge from Cadillac, and it made it look a little fuddy-duddy. Glad that they modernized it. You do get a forward-facing camera nicely nestled underneath the badge. And then working our way down, that particular Cadillac style, it's got that nice rise in the center. You'll notice this whole lower grille area. This is unique to the Escalade-V, and this is where you have more of that functionality and then that splitter that's all nicely integrated. What's crazy is that essentially the V family has been around since 2003, if you could believe that. But let me know what you think about the look, the face of this Escalade-V compared to a brand new 2025 model. Now, as we rise up, you get that big, bold aircraft carrier style hood. That goes without saying. Coming around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So you are going to get specific wheels to the Escalade-V. Love that gunmetal metallic gray color to them. 22-inch wheel. Look at the freaking atomic fireball cherry red 6-piston Brembo calipers with the V badging. You're going to have rotors up front that are over 15 inches in diameter, and we have the Magnetic Ride 4.0 suspension. And remember, General Motors is the car company that came up with that technology, Magnetic Ride, which a lot of different brands use today, including Ferrari. But I really think that the color of the wheel with the black gives it a nice, sporty, classy look. Everything, of course, is painted around the fender openings. There shouldn't be any flat black on this luxury performance SUV. Coming down the side, you're going to get nice large mirrors, all body colored, 360-degree cameras. You got to have the V badge. That thing is massive. Open up the doors. You are going to have those electric dropping running boards. Very nice touch because They pull in so cleanly. The one thing I feel like they should do on the Vs is get rid of the roof rails up top. I feel like it would just clean up the look, make it look a little sportier. Let me know how you feel about it. And really, let's be honest, who is putting stuff up on the roof of their Escalade-V? Let me know in the comment section if you're an owner that has actually gotten the crossbars and put stuff up on the roof. I find that very rare. Working our way towards the rear, you got that all-wheel drive system. It's rear-wheel drive based, but of course it sends power to all 4 corners. And then one thing I got to zonk is on the rear, you are getting the cherry red, but it's the floating stock caliper. That's a no-no. You need to have Brembos all 4 corners, especially on a Caddy. Come on. Working our way towards the rear, very clean. No exposed wiper. It's nicely nestled underneath that long roof spoiler. Love the way on this particular model year how they do the LED lighting. You got your V badge. The actual crest here, the Cadillac badge, is the button to open up the rear hatch. And then look at what we have. That quad tip exhaust, nice black tip. Wait until you hear this thing freaking fire up. Nice simulated rear diffuser area. And of course this cover comes off and it has your tow receiver because you could do your actual towing. You could be the first one at the boat ramp every freaking Sunday when you're behind the wheel of this thing. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see the heart of this V. All right guys, we got that massive hood open. You'll notice the V badge. Like I said, it goes all the way back to 2003. Really great to see that. Underneath, look at that. You have the plate where it shows who hand assembled that LT4 supercharged V8. I love the Cadillac specific top of the supercharger. It looks spectacular. No plastic covering anything up. So what do we got? It's a 6.2 liter supercharged V8, 682 horsepower, 653 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60 with launch control, you're looking at 3.9 seconds, quarter mile in 12.6 seconds at 112 miles per hour. And top speed is governed to 125 miles per hour. MPGs, you're not gonna wanna know. 11 in the city, 16 on the highway, and the vehicle does weigh 6,290 pounds. And then like I said, you can tow around 8,000 pounds with this supercharged V8. Now between a 2024 and a 2025, engine-wise, there's no difference. So something to think about. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this V8 and hear her sing. All right, guys, we are behind the wheel of this 2024 Cadillac Escalade-V. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I've been thinking of this very question that you're asking. I've been looking at a 2025. I kind of like what they did with the 2024 more. How much is this particular one? So asking price for this one is $136,000. Let's see what you get when you go Escalade-V to the door panels. I love almost everything. The soft touch material with the white contrast stitching. I can't stand that dark wood finish with the veneer on it. Very, very fuddy-duddy, but it's there. We got heated seats, ventilated seats. Buttons are right above the door handle. You'll see the sparkle of the carbon flash metallic around the switchgear for your windows. That'll make sure that you don't get fingerprints everywhere. And I really like the contrast stitching and piping on the side. Door pocket is large enough for 2 burritos from Chipotle with guacamole, even though guac costs extra, and a large Pepsi. And then we have our AKG premium sound system, over 30 speakers, 36 speakers in this thing. Going from the door panel to the dash, the stitching, the material, I don't like this. Just give me, I'd rather have just black open pore wood rather than this veneer over it. You do have a 12 volt, very smart to use a radar detector, and you got a place for 2 bananas or 1 head of broccoli. Either way, whether you go broccoli or bananas, you're gonna get your potassium. With the 2024 model year vehicle, you don't have the new large screen display. This, to me, works the best. It's 38 inches in size, it's OLED, and it's just, I don't know, it just makes more sense rather than having the screen up by the windshield. Plus, it just looks better. Of course, you got all your easy functionality, all the usual apps that you're used to on Cadillac vehicles, even a performance data recorder and your camera system. Resolution is just as good as the camera that we are filming with right now. And you got your ambient lighting. Roy G. Biv out the yin yang. Continuing our way down, love the way you got your nice metal toggle switches for your AC control. There's more of the fuddy-duddy wood inside here. You do have 2 cup holders, a USB-C and a USB-A. This is going to control your 10-speed automatic. Hit the V button, and then that brings you up. You can see V mode. You could actually make adjustments to the all-wheel drive, the engine sound, all that goodness. You got a direct drive control knob, a real volume knob, a place to put a box of candy cigarettes, the leather, open it up, USB-C, USB-A, and you got your cool box. And this is wireless charging as well. So you could put a box of candy cigarettes in there, but you're probably gonna wanna put your phone in there so you have your wireless charging. And then the seats, the leather, the freaking speakers are in the headrest, full electric assist for the passenger side, full electric assist, of course, for the driver's side. And we have Alcantara, and look at this. That power shade for our panoramic sunroof, and you have a digital rearview mirror. So they got you covered technology-wise. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I got Super Cruise and something I want to show you behind the screen. Come on over. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have your Escalade badge down below that illuminates all LED at night. Pedal box is good. Aluminum brake pedal, aluminum throttle. I just wish they gave us an aluminum dead pedal, but you have your nice look to all your seat controls. Seats are superb, the leather, the support. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here. And then the steering wheel, the leather. You do have your V badge, some of that fuddy-duddy wood, but nice stitching. And then, as you can see, we do have Super Cruise, that hands-free driving, and it also is a heated steering wheel. Metal paddles to go up and down the 10-speed automatic. It is a power tilting and telescoping wheel. And then remember, this does have air ride. It's magnetic air ride suspension. You could raise and lower your vehicle. And then right there, you have that other part of that OLED display. Of course, you could go into your different modes, which is nice. Or you hit V, and that gets you into V mode. Plus, there's a head-up display. But why don't we go ahead? Let's get in the mid row and the third row and see what this V is bringing. All right, guys, this is a Rady's Rides first. Not being in an Escalade-V, that's not a first. This is a first. You could actually see how a child seat fits to the mid-row seat. Nice to have this example here for me to showcase, because obviously you're gonna wanna haul the mail plus your family in here. Backs of the seats, you have that over 12-inch touchscreen monitor, like the way you could tilt it very easily. Large pocket, you could put, I would say, 2 Annie Ann's pretzels, and then you have your AC controls. It still blows my mind that they have heated seats but no ventilated seats. That's a big zonk. Open this, 2 more cup holders. Down below you got HDMIs and USB-Cs. The seats are very comfy, very supportive. Armrests are ginormous. And then of course the seats you can slide, and they also can recline. And then Stephen will show you the third row. We're not getting back there today, but you have a third row where you could put some actual adults, and they each get a USB-C and air vents back there, plus speakers. There's speakers everywhere in this thing, 36 of them. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the cargo area, because I want to go on throttle in this V. All right, guys, time to get in that cargo area. Now remember, you can open the rear glass separate from opening up the whole lift back. You press the Cadillac badge, nice electric assist. You're going to be greeted to well over 20 cubic feet of space with the third row up. Now, here is the cherry on top of that AKG reference premium sound system. That's the subwoofer. On the passenger side, you're going to, of course, get a home power source, and then you have your switch gear to put the seats down. And I'm just going to fold down one portion of it just to show you that 60-40 split. You put down the mid row, you got over 100 cubic feet of space in this thing. So if you're wondering, well, Joe, how am I going to pay for this? I guess you could sell your house and just live in your Escalade. But I'm not living in this Escalade. I'm going on throttle in this Escalade. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a spin in this Escalade-V. All right, guys, we're inside this 2024 Cadillac Escalade-V. I'm gonna manually shift with those metal paddles. Of course, I have it in V mode, duh. And if you're ready, I'm ready. We're gonna do launch control. It's so simple. Even Steven can do it. Left foot on the brake, right foot on throttle. On throttle, here we go, yeah! Love it. Not only does this thing launch like no other SUV, it also handles extremely well for the type of vehicle that it is. The 10-speed fires off with authority, whether you're going up the gears or down the gears. And then, of course, with that MagneRide suspension, or I should say magnetic ride, Ford calls it MagneRide, that magnetic ride suspension, it's adjusting the compression and rebound of all four corners, all within nanoseconds. Brakes, you're gonna stop on a dime and give everybody change. And all the pops and the bangs and the VA goodness that you hear is real deal Holyfield sound. This thing is so ridiculous. I love it. That's why I love it, because it's just so freaking ridiculous that an Escalade could perform like this. You got your large digital gauge cluster. You got plenty of room in here. And even though I wouldn't necessarily buy a black Escalade-V, it looks sinister in black. It's just stupid. It's just stupid in a good way. I wish the gear indicator was just a little bit larger, but let's go. Third gear, here we go. On the brakes, look at this. Nice. Traction control works with you, not against you. Woo, baby. Yeah. Visibility is great, but it's like really the performance where everything comes together that really just checks off all the boxes. Just absolutely the complete package for luxury, class, and that performance. Ah, woo! It has plenty of get up and go. I wish I had just a little bit more supercharger whine. I feel like that's the thing that Dodge got so right with the Durango Hellcat and the Challenger and Charger Hellcats and Red Eyes and everything else. Supercharger whine is perfect when it's a Mopar. There's a little bit, I want a little bit more. But man, oh man, that V8 sounds just, it's stupendous. It just gives you eargasms every day. And if your kid is lucky enough that you have one of these and you get to pick them up at school, I'd want to be picked up at school by my parents all the way until I was a senior in high school. That's how good this thing sounds. Look at that. I could do this all day long, obviously, but I'm hoping that this has been a good, quick overall review of what the Escalade-V is bringing. We're gonna get back to Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day in so many ways here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. Definitely gotta thank Miro getting us access to this 2024 Cadillac Escalade-V. Now it's your turn. What are you gonna do? You thinking that the 2024 is the way to go styling-wise, technology-wise, and overall looks? Or are you gonna spend more money and go with a brand new one and get a 2025 refresh? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raise Rights family. Of course, we need to give it up to Tripod. What can we say enough that hasn't been said already about his camera skills? Supposedly, from what I understand, Steven is also one heck of a drummer. Now, where that information comes from, it's questionable, but from what I understand, he is one heck of a drummer. So maybe if you ever see him in public, ask him to drum a couple beats for you. But thank you, Steven, for all that you're doing. Just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.